Pig Suey.
Oh, all right.
What's up, everybody?
This is crazy.
It's the Bass and Brews Podcast, your weekly distraction from high-quality podcasts. Paul and I have the KBN boys over. It's going to be a
you got it right for the first time ever.
Before we get too far, though, if you want to help support the show, head over to patreon.com/Bass and Brews. It'll cost you the same price as a cup of coffee, like a regular cup of coffee, not like a fucking triple mocha latte unicorn spit from Starbucks. And that'll give you access to Last Call with Alex and Paul, the live show that we do with our producers. That's what we like to call you Patreon members. And we do that monthly.
And we have a giveaway that's been going on for a while. And
yeah.
You will not get the shit that you
That's
win.
Not true.
On the
they
giveaway.
Got the order from Tactical Fish Co. Anyways, yes, Bass and Brews on tonight. We brought on our I guess, what do you call it? Is it not sister podcast, but it would be
Daddy.
like
It's got to be Daddy. Got to be Daddy podcast.
Well, because as
I
the
was now.
yeah, as the proud owners of KBN, we're happy to have their hosts on. If you guys,
I'm shocked y'all signed off for the $1,500 appearance fee. That's badass. Thank you guys. Right here at Christmas.
Shit.
That's awesome.
Hey, you get paid.
Catfish up in here, Ryan.
You get paid a penny a week. You get paid penny a week.
yeah, that
for
shit's on a payment plan. That shit's on layaway.
Does it come out of that cup of coffee subscription for whatever?
Exactly.
All right, so I need a lot of you guys to go over to Parthenon and sign up for the cup of coffee or whatever and get us paid.
Dude, my favorite is when you guys ran our clip in the beginning for April Fools talking about how we bought the podcast. I got like 3 of our viewers that went like, holy shit, KBN is either giving you like props or fucking making fun of you. Either way, pretty sweet.
Well, good luck figuring it out.
It was both.
No, we pull Paul in every now and then as color commentary to spice it up when one of us can't make the show at all or don't want to, I guess.
Yeah, a little KBN history is I think maybe the very first call-in show we did. Paul called in shirtless with a Daffy Duck or Donald Duck hat on. There it is, right there.
Holy shit!
I'll never forget.
This guy's a fucking menace.
Yep,
he is a menace.
I don't think
part of our
Ryan
history
was there for that one either. I think it was just Jeff with some people and.
It was like me and the shirtless Paul Roberts. That was it.
That was before Bass and Brews too. So this was before anybody in the kayak world knew who I was.
That's why when I first brought Paul on, he was like, "Hey, can I take my shirt off?" And I was like, "Hey, how about for your first episode as a co-host, you maybe keep the fucking shirt on, bud?" So that's probably why you tried to pop that thing off right
and then
away.
3 years later,
tried
I take
that
my
yet,
shirt
Jeff.
off. Yeah.
No, we don't want to do that, man.
Okay, all right.
We all lost
That's off
weight.
the table.
Give me till summer.
Look,
That's what we're working toward. We're actually going to be an entirely nude podcast, hopefully within the next 6 months. We'll see we'll see how it goes. Yeah, we didn't know to charge people though, so we're kind of to step it up on that deal.
We have to reconsider retirement, Ryan, if we can charge people for this shit.
We could do like the adult KBN.
You know what? We can go back to the original show, After Hours. Just do a little.
Is Ashley Kay listening to this episode? Because I don't want to get you in trouble.
She's in the other room, but I don't think she can.
All right.
What happens if you guys just did a dual feed, right? You do your normal show, but then for OnlyFans, it's just a webcam right on your dick and balls the whole time. And you guys just talk like normal, but it's just a zoomed up crock shot.
I feel like that would be disappointing for a lot of people.
KFL already failed.
Touche.
There's
Touche. Speaking of the state of kayak fishing.
Look, kayak fishing, if they're not known for anything, it is for crotch shots while you're fishing.
Yeah, it's kind of like if you're a fisherman, but you want to kind of be a joke at the same time. Yeah, we're doing good.
I think that's perfect because Serious Angler has the butts, right? Bailey's got his big, beautiful fucking man tush, and then you guys could just be known for up close. Not even wiener shots, just the testicles. If you could find a camera that just focuses on the testicles.
Wow. Yeah. I have one.
Married man. I'm an old married man, dude. I can't do that.
And it's winter, so this is a terrible time to start this concept.
Yes.
I feel like.
Oh, good point. Good point.
Hey, speaking of Bailey, man, did you see that he posted a video today that he is going full-time YouTube?
Yes.
Look at Bailey.
Congratulations, Bailey.
Good job.
Not just YouTube, podcasting and social media.
Yeah, full-time.
Full-time.
Like
hey,
a streamer.
We knew about that a couple weeks ago. Now I feel fucking special. Yeah, I feel special.
There you go.
I just saw his post today.
See, you just got to talk about his rump enough, and he'll tell you info early.
I guess we're always going to miss out on that boat.
Well, hey, look, guys, if you don't know it by now, we have the co-hostesses of KBN on tonight. Kayak Bass Nation, the Swamp, the Dredges.
The cesspool, baby. The cesspool.
And the cesspool has come way. It has risen.
Yeah, I bet they didn't think. I bet they didn't think this shit was going to happen when they started trying to cancel us.
Exactly.
Take that, industry leaders. We got you.
We won.
The cesspool has risen from the drudges.
No, we're still the same. We just try to have more polished conversations. I think
we just lasted. That's all. We just lasted.
Yeah,
True.
It's attrition. All the rest of them quit or failed. However you want to look at it.
No one is as stubborn as Ryan and I, or as spiteful. So we just lasted.
I mean, here's the thing: y'all have become, KBN has become the kayak bass fishing news station, if we'll call it that, of where people go to see what's going on in the industry, to see what's going on with tournaments. Y'all are both in the tournaments. You're both in, that industry for what
not
it's
on the
worth.
leaderboard, but we're definitely registered.
Well, Ryan started off in the leaderboard, which gave y'all credence to who you were, and then he fell off very sharply.
I feel like the bigger our pod's gotten, the worse our performance has gotten.
Yeah, I feel like we give a shit a lot less because we're like, we can actually make money just bullshitting about fishing and not actually have to fish.
Right?
That's
huge
true.
motivator. Huge motivator.
Yep. You can't make money fishing. You got to make money talking about fishing.
Yeah.
Hey, you mentioned us as the news, Paul. We had a disgruntled angler once call us the CNN of kayak fishing, which was very hurtful, and I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah, here we are.
Here now you're on Bass and Brews together for the first time ever. We've had both of y'all separately. I've had Ryan on a time or two when Alex was off defending our country's waters, and then Jeff has been on quite a few times, and so now you're on here together with Alex, and it's going to be good. It's going to be great. I mean,
we'll see.
We will see. But
how long did you say this was? Like 15 minutes? 15-minute episodes?
This feels like an end of the year kegger, which also happens December 27th for everybody listening now.
Well, this episode, yeah. Hey, if you're listening to this in the morning, get ready at 8:00 for the end of the year kegger. Just a heads up. Last year, Paul wore a bikini, and I spilt a fucking full cup of bourbon in my lap. So make sure you stay tuned for the end of the year kegger 2024.
Good times.
Yeah.
Good times. This year, I can fit in that bikini a lot better if I still had it. I throw it away because it had shit stains in it. But I've lost 30 pounds, so we're doing much better now.
Is that how? Was it, mostly GI related, do you think? Do you do a cleanse?
Don't get him started. Stop, Paul.
It was so tight that it cut the blood flow off to my balls. And I was struggling. At the end of the night, I said, "The hell with this!" I ripped it off.
Nobody told him to wear it. Nobody told him.
I can 100% believe that.
Yeah.
You're a sick individual. Like, man, I wonder what Paul looks like in a bikini.
It was sent to me for that podcast, so I wore it to appease the listeners. And so,
that's great of you.
You have to do what the listeners want you to do.
So
y'all know this.
That's false, actually. You do not.
Is that extra in the Patreon, Paul, for that?
It is.
Yeah. How many cups of coffee is that?
All right, that's the new level. We're gonna bump it up to $10 a month, and we're gonna call it the Bikini Fund. Every time we earn enough to buy a bikini, Paul will wear it live on the show.
Oh my God, Jesus!
Where do I donate? What?
Exactly.
My boobs are smaller now, so I don't know if I'm going to fill out that C cup that they sent me last year.
There goes the wet T-shirt contest.
I know, right? No, hell no, not my damn titties. I got damn pepperonis for nipples. I'd win a wet T-shirt contest for a blind man watching.
All right. So what do you guys want to talk about with us tonight?
We wanted to talk about pepperoni nipples. Duh.
I'll go ahead and jump in the driver's seat here.
I should have got that meme of Corey Dreyer if we were going down this road.
Oh my gosh. Where Jim photoshopped his head as a nipple. Oh, that was classic. That's from
Who are the young college girls going to sleep with?
That's what Paul's working up to.
What? Now I feel like I'm going to be called to the witness stand or something.
Oh my gosh.
Jeff thought he was going to be able to lay in his recliner and have a good time, and now he's like, "Shit, should I even be here right now?"
No, I definitely agree. Jeff is regretting this decision right now.
Text my lawyer. I don't know what's going on.
But Ryan, he has been on this podcast at least twice more times than you have, so he knew what he was getting into.
Thank you, Jeff, for your sacrifice.
Last time I had to bail, it was like there was like 15 people on the screen.
That was the end of the year kegger last year.
End of the year kegger. Yeah, that was the last year.
Yeah, I had to go, and I think Alex even said we ran off the KBN guy, and I left.
We did.
But we also, from KBN to Bass and Brews, we also did get the distinction of the type of podcast we are. And Jeff, golly, it was probably 2 years ago he said this. It was something about we're more of a variety show instead of a fishing podcast. Mm-hmm. And Alex wasn't here for that, but he listened to the podcast, and after that he ran with it. So Jeff,
that was a bad idea. 2024, Jeff, is solely because of you. 2024 has been named the Forever Feral year of Bass and Brews. We've had more non-traditional fishing guests this year than at any fucking time. Like I literally went crazy. I pulled some of the best guests we've had who just a very, very small thread is holding on to the outdoors. Other than that, we went off the walls, and it's because, and I remember at the beginning of the year I said it, like, listen, KBN said we're a fucking variety show, so fuck having fishing people on every week.
Fishing's boring, so you really have to mix it up a lot.
Thank you.
You do.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So boring.
What'd you do in your tournament? I threw a jackhammer at the stumps for 4 hours, and then I switched to a buzzbait and caught one. Hell yeah, brother. Yep. Killer recap next week. Let's go.
My favorite is when people are like, we'd like more episodes that are like technique specific. And I'm like, hey, guys, it's an audio podcast. Like, somebody's just going to talk to you. Like, you got to like visually see it. At least on YouTube, you can like see the body of water and you can learn that way, right? Like, that makes sense. But just hearing somebody talk through it makes no sense. It's like getting an audio book of IKEA instructions. It just doesn't fucking make sense.
I stretched my string out really long, and then I spit on it, and then I wrapped my other string around it really tight, and I pulled it snug.
You still talking about
dude?
fish?
No,
this was fishing. No. We were doing. I was tying a leader knot. I was tying a leader knot. What were you doing?
Okay. Damn.
I don't know. I was in the zone.
I'm not sure.
He got that deep.
Jeff doesn't even know what to think about his own co-host right now. We fucked up.
No, we've really tried to rein in KBN, and I don't get to be the person that I am inside. So we've tried to be a lot more professional in our years.
Boo.
I've never censored you, Ryan. Never once.
I know you haven't. I've censored myself actually because I can watch the episodes. So
matter of fact, I think I make Ryan mad at me sometimes because I say out of pocket stuff that sounds professional, but it's really not professional.
No, you say shit that I get blamed for. Jeff will say shit, and then I'll get a message like, I cannot. Oh my God, here we go again. Lambert's he's on the warpath again. That piece of shit. And I'm like, God, it's not me actually.
Well, can't nobody be mad at an old person like Jeff? I mean, the man looks like he's in his 20s, but if I'm not mistaken, aren't you like 50 years old, Jeff?
51, son.
God damn! But
what is that? Benjamin Button syndrome?
Yeah, he's 100%.
Give him 10 more years, he's going to be in a diaper.
He's lived through 2 world wars.
First one was brutal. The second one wasn't so bad.
Second one wasn't so bad.
No, they messed up.
Jeff
on that
is
one.
the best ager in kayak bass fishing out there. That's 100% sure.
That's a man that uses a lot of sunscreen. A lot of sunscreen.
I do.
Yeah,
I really do.
Well, look, speaking of bass fishing, speaking of KBN, we got KBN up in here, and KBN is that I would say they're the leader in kayak bass fishing in the news and the tournament scene as a whole when we come in here. And one of the things we wanted to talk about tonight was the state of kayak bass fishing moving forward, because we've got some big news that came out a couple weeks ago. Hobie will not have a 2025 season. And 2 years ago, Hobie was the cream of the crop. You had to you had to get online at the drop of 8 o'clock or whatever it was to sign up for a tournament to get 225, 250 spots. That lasted for a couple years, and now they're gone. So now we're left with one national trail with bass.
All the way national this year. They ain't no damn arguing about it.
No,
like you are coast to coast if you commit to that.
They spread that shit out. Hey, people asked for it, and Bass gave it to them. Steve-O gave them a trail.
That's true.
That covered everything, except for when I made the post on YouTube about is kayak bass fishing dead. Somebody said that the schedule sucked because they didn't have any Midwestern states on there. But anyway,
hellfire! Well, isn't there an Oklahoma or some shit on there? What's Midwest?
I thought Oklahoma was Midwestern.
That's in the middle of the damn West. What else are they looking for?
It's in the SEC now, boys.
But
it ain't the SEC unless they're playing Alabama.
But look, this is my question
that's
for y'all.
tough.
Y'all are in the scene of national kayak bass fishing and all that. What's going on? Where are we? Did we see the peak of kayak bass fishing in 2022 and 2023? Is it on the downslope now? Are we going to see a consolidation of it and it's going up? Where are we? I want what y'all think where kayak bass fishing is going to go in the next year or two.
Jeff, you go ahead with that. I got to hand this guy a key to this borrowed truck I've got out of Missouri.
Oh, okay. Yeah, kayak fishing's dead.
Missouri.
Kayak fishing's dead. Next question, Paul. No, I'm just kidding.
Is it dead or is it dying or is it just on life support?
What I think you said is accurate, which is obviously there's a consolidation happening in the tournament scene underneath that shield, that Bass shield, with their national scene, and then the Bass Nation trails in the States are really picking up steam, and a lot of folks are heading that way. But even those, I think, a consolidation to bass, but a consolidation of the sport of there's some people that are kind of taking a step back and saying, let me get my bearings here. Do I want to fish national trails? Do I want to have a boat with 2 motors and 6 screens on it to be able to compete in these tournaments? I think the amount of kayak anglers are still the same, if not growing, but people have kind of taken a little hesitation or step back from the tournaments, especially the ones that cost a little bit of money to be able to compete in. So maybe a reconsolidation and then another growth spurt as things get figured out, the economy settles down, etc.
So in our local trails here in the middle part of North Carolina and also Queen City, which is not Western, but Queen City's a big local trail, 100 anglers average. We saw some numbers drop a little bit, but nothing significant on the local stuff. Is the local stuff going to drive some more stuff to 1 or 2 national trails coming up, or is it going to be a handful or 2, 20 or 30 people that we see start to fish these national trails where it turns into like an invitational or a qualifier instead of it being an open?
Yeah. I think we're so far away from some sort of invitational or pro series that whatever you want to call it. I just don't think there's the money nor the people that even have the time to do that. I don't know what Ryan thinks. I think we're 2 years ago, everybody was on that. Like, oh man, we got to get this pro series going. We got to get this going. But that feels like it's way further away now than it was a couple of years ago to me.
I think, the economy had a big impact on it, obviously. Like, I think people, are paying attention a lot more when they go on the road and blow $2,000 shooting pool at a bar all night to maybe fish a tournament the next day. But I think as a whole, like the tournaments, the ROI part, like people aren't getting famous. They're not getting life-changing money coming out of this shit. You're just a dude dragging a plastic boat around, thousands of miles on the road, and you lose to about the same 10 people over and over and over again. And I think a lot of that has impacted it because, obviously, time on the water and availability and there are a lot of different factors that go into it. But I think when you have great anglers that have the time and go break down these bodies of water and fish them over and over again too, right? Because they've been doing this for years. I'm not taking away their hard work at all. But I think that is a detractor for like the new blood coming in, because if you've seen it for freaking years, like, why are you like, oh shit, this is my chain, like I got $1,800 to blow. I got them this time. Like, no, you don't. Like, I think that has been another big, detractor from the tournament scene. And with Hobie, I think it was more of a business driven decision. I don't think the tournament series was failing at all. I do think that they shouldn't have shifted away from some things. I think they shouldn't have expanded the TOC. That was the most elite, the only real championship that we have ever seen in kayak fishing. Like, they should not have changed that. And y'all were talking about the cap earlier that had people just chomping at the bit to get in the tournaments. They never should have taken the cap away. Bass should put a cap in. And I have relayed that information several times. I don't want to be on a lake fishing with 255 freaking people to where you pull into every ramp and it's packed out, especially now that we have approved launches. Like, there's not a secret ramp where there's not 20 dudes sitting there, pissing in circles in the parking lot in the morning. Like, we got to find some balance somewhere. I think Bass has done great with Steve-O's leadership, which, if you recall, in the beginning, I told him that's what they needed to do was hire the guy because I knew what he would do with it, and he's done it. Like, I'm not Nostradamus, but fucking listen to me every now and then. Like, I hit a couple good points every now and then. I don't know how far Bass is going to go with it. I think they're doing great with the marketing part. I don't know if Bass as an organization wants to see that next level. I think they have the infrastructure to do it with camera trucks and coverage and that kind of thing. That's what it's going to take is some sort of media coverage to drive it to that next level, to where it is a profitable thing, where they have viewership and it's entertaining. But I don't know if they want to spend that kind of money on kayak fishing, because I don't know if kayak fishermen want to spend that kind of money on kayak fishing. So
not only that,
trapped.
Not only that, can Bass do that with the Elite Series? I mean, they're not going to do it with kayak fishing if they can't drive the viewership and drive, the personalities of their anglers on the Elite Series. I would say this, though, that kayak fishing has a lot more entertainment value than fishing off the boat.
I mean, a lot more tragedies happen on the water in kayak fishing. Exactly. I agree.
Not deaths, tragedies, but like shit that happens that fucks up your whole damn day of fishing.
Yeah, you get a treble hook in your elbow and your ass at the same time or something. Like, there's a lot of potential for disaster. But how do you get that from your GoPro or whatever to in front of people? That's the trick.
Yeah, and think about it, man. I think last time I saw an official number, there were like 500,000, 600,000 paid members of Bass, like total.
Insane.
But those people, 95%, maybe more than that, 99% are fans of bass boat fishing.
Don't fish.
Yeah. Kayak fishermen we don't have fans, man. People need to understand. I mean, other than other
because you can't watch it. What can you watch? A Tourney X leaderboard and just refresh numbers over it? Like, that's not if they know you personally, that's exciting, right? Because you're watching whoever your friend is, but like Joe Blow's not on there like tuned in on a 1/4-inch cull up. Like, I mean, that's not exciting to watch. So we got to find something.
I wonder if Bass could use this time to help innovate, and that could carry over to the elites. Like, they treat the kayak series as AAA ball, right? They basically test new ideas there to make people, because you could run a small camera boat behind. You could run a John boat through, right? You don't have to have a big bass boat because, I mean, you could
angler fields.
Right. So, but you could run these small things. You could run another fucking kayak with a dude with a camera on it. Right. But do these things where they could kind of step out of the boundaries of what they've done before coverage wise and just use it as a test field to see if it works. Because if you're going to get anybody to actually watch fishing, it's going to be kayak anglers, because there's nothing for us to fucking watch. And like you guys said, it's fucking boring. So if you could almost treat it like, how MLF does, like these condensed things, like I would be even like, I'd like to see that. If you did a condensed 1 hour episode, right, where you broke down the whole tournament, but you showed all the drama, blah, 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 all that stuff, but you did it in a small condensed form. I think that would possibly have legs to be able to stand on.
Yeah. My thing is, dude, like I said, there's just not enough people that, like, if Bass, let's say they did that. Let's say they threw a camera on every kayak somehow and stream that. They're not going to, I mean, I see the results from the actual live streamed elite series or even the opens, and they're getting hundreds of thousands of views, maybe a million views sometimes in some of these events in total. And you're talking about 500-600 people care to watch a kayak tournament in the whole United States. I mean, there's no ROI there is what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Yep. We're a small market.
What happens if you broke it down? Like, all right, so KBF, those early videos with Chad were amazing because he brought like the adventure of being in a small boat, all that shit, right? What happens if you do that? Like, you kind of break it down like that. I'm not saying put a camera on every boat. You take some folks who are good at putting together videos, right? And you kind of go through and you tell the story of the tournament. It's not live. It's something that's produced and then broadcast like the week after the tournament, to at least start. Like, you put together something. It doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be multiple hours, an hour, half an hour, whatever. But you kind of put those clips together that could bring some of that. That could bring the folks, if that's just randomly on the internet somewhere, some guy looks at it.
Yeah, you cracked the code right there, man, which was, you brought up the innovator of kayak fishing. All we need to do is lie about how many people are watching. Then the whole thing's solved.
No, we talked about KFL earlier.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Look, you can't just lie about how we got 13 million viewers. What? From where? Where are you streaming to? The airport in China? Dude, I remember when they dropped that shit. I was like, what in the world? Like, if you left that video playing on loop on YouTube for 20 years, there wouldn't be a million viewers. Like, that's insane.
Sports Network, bitches. What?
God.
Anyway, don't get me started on that shit. But
me either.
You know, to Alex's point with doing that, I mean, the whole thing comes down to what Alex was describing was like the 90s ESPN,
right,
for basketball or something like that, where you pretty much take the highlights of that day and you condense them into, a 10 or 15 minute highlight reel. But what does that do though that's fine as a highlight reel, but that doesn't do anything for the actual tournament.
But I think maybe getting new people into the sport, because I think a lot of us, and like Alex was saying, we watch those original kayak bass fishing on the Outdoor Channel, like, oh shit, I can go buy a $600 plastic boat and get out in a creek and catch some big fish nobody's ever messed with. That's why I bought one. That's why I went and bought a kayak, bought it from the man himself. Like, that's what got a lot of people into it. And I think on the tournament side, if people saw, and I don't even think it's the fishing part, to be honest. If you saw like the friendships and the camaraderie and the bullshit, like how much fun this can be, that's what's going to draw people in. And that's what, that's what we try to do when we go to a tournament, is have these meetups and get out and bullshit with people. And guess what? They'll message you every week for the rest of your life wanting another one of those those nights. Like,
but see, people enjoy that part. You could make a whole video of that, right? And like you guys are saying,
with the fishing.
Right, but you guys are saying nobody, there's no anglers. People aren't following anglers. This is a way that they could have new people come in to become personalities, right? That could become that week after the week. They're like, oh shit, what's Ryan doing this week? What the fuck is he gonna say now that he's got this tournament? And you know how bad he got drunk last tournament. Like, what's gonna fucking happen, right? There's these storylines that you could develop.
You're right.
Over post-produced videos. Right.
Post-produced. I was talking more about live. That's too big a jump to start with.
Correct.
Post-produced, 100%. If they could do some sort of post-produced show, have some sort of repository where all the anglers could drop clips of their catches in there, whatever, and then they could juice it up.
Well, I think kayak fishing is set up for a reality show. Like, if you look at all the scandals and the drama and shit, that would people would forget about Yellowstone. They would be sitting there in way too small performance hoodies on their couch with their Crocs on, just waiting on the next episode to drop. Like, who messed with whose stuff this time? Who stole their spot? It's rich for a reality show.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. And Ryan mentioned the camaraderie. The last 2 years, last 3 years, I've gone to national tournaments, Hobie and Bass down in the Carolinas. I wanted to go down there and compete. Yeah, I wanted to do good, but I literally went down there to see people that have been on the podcast, have listened to the podcast, who I have met through social media. I went down there to see Ryan, and Jeff never came to these fucking places. So
Paul pays for friends. He pays for friends. That's what this is.
I do.
They have nowhere else to go. They're stuck in a campground, and Paul's running around.
But that was the thing for me. I wanted to come down there and see people and hang out and have that camaraderie. And you know what?
Did you have fun?
Oh, fuck yeah, we had fun. We were
okay
drinking,
then.
At the bar, throwing cornhole.
Picked up a pool table. Remember that when we had to move the pool table at Santee?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, so that's the kind of shit to me. But again, it goes back to what Ryan just said about the reality show of it. That's the thing, is most of your kayak anglers are out there having a good time on these national trails, right? We're going down, we're having a good time. It's camaraderie. There's only a handful, maybe a handful and a half, whose livelihood relies around how well they do on that, compared to the Elite Series, where every single person there, their livelihood matters. So you're not going to get quite the debauchery that you get with the kayak tournament.
And the Elite Series livelihood is hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Right. Yeah. Right.
The kayak angler's livelihood is tens of thousands of dollars.
7,000 for first place.
Yeah. I mean, and again, I think that's a part of what we're seeing, the slowing of the sport, right? Because these kayaks themselves have grown to be $20,000, $25,000 monsters. At that point, what are you doing? What are you doing when you can go buy a used bass boat, compete in your local Wednesday and Friday nighters, and make as much money doing that, if you're really good at fishing, as you could chasing around this thing, spending 10 or 20 grand? I think people are starting to realize that. I think we might have priced ourselves out of the market on this deal.
Yeah, Ryan, when you stepped out to talk to the mailman or whatever you were doing there, give that guy your keys. That's what I said.
My truck got taken away. My truck got repossessed.
Repo.
That was the quickest repo ever.
To pay for
you see what high dollar kayaks do to you? Your goddamn truck gets repoed.
I don't even have my own truck. Mine's at Lake of the Ozarks, that tournament Jeff tricked me into going to.
I know. Got wheels and cornfields out there. I told Ryan, or I told these guys when you stepped away, Ryan, that part of this, I think, is a consolidation of people just stepping back and saying, wait a minute, do I really want to invest in live scope, 3 screens, motors? Do I really want to do that? And that's why, some of the national tournaments took a little bit of a hit on top of the economy and everything else, because I know even me, who got into this back in, I don't even know how long ago now, 12 years ago, I guess, 2024, 12 years ago, started doing this. It's a long ways from where I wanted it to be. I don't want all the motors and drafts and all that stuff, but I feel like I have to have it if I'm going to go to these tournaments. And it's kind of a conundrum, right? I don't want to do that, but you have to.
Well, even locally, where I am, and our 2 local trails where I am, not Queen City, we probably average about 40, 45 people. And to feel like you have to compete, you need to have forward-facing sonar. I mean, I don't have it. I've got side scan and shit like that. And in some lakes I do well on, the lakes I know well. But then the other lakes that I don't get to practice on, I only go to for tournaments, I don't do as good at. And so even on your local trails, you're feeling like you have to invest in the technology and the boats and the motors to be able to compete. And then you put that on national trail. How many people do y'all know that fished national trails 2 years ago who now don't do it anymore?
There's a lot.
There's a ton. Lot. There's a ton that especially from the Northeast that has a lot of really good anglers.
Yeah.
That just
even from here locally in our local club. Yeah. I mean, the burnout happens so fast. Like our kind of like perennial, we talk about the father and son teams around here in Tennessee a lot. All of them have quit. There's not any, there's not any father and son teams. And they had like the most rigged out. I mean, shit, they'd go drop $50,000 on 2 boats and a trailer at the dugout, like every year, have the newest shit. And even they have gotten, burn out on it. How do we rewind the dial and take this sport back to where it should be? I feel like we got too big for our britches is what I'm saying.
Got too big too fast. I mean, it was how fast it grew was exponential. And I think it what you just said, it just got like too fast, too big, and people got burnt out and didn't know what, they were just done.
Well, it feels like pressure, man, and it shouldn't feel like pressure.
Yeah.
Because frankly, you can go out there in a kayak with a paddle and no electronics and still win a tournament. You can do that.
Mm-hmm.
But the pressure that you feel like you have to keep up in this arms race, it can burn you out, man. Like I got to drive all the way to Utah or I'm not going to have a chance in the points, and I got to get live scope and I got to do that. That's a lot of pressure. Shouldn't be, but it's kind of self-inflicted pressure. And you kind of take a step back and think, wait a minute, do I really want to do all that?
But I mean, I think we've set it up that way. Like I think, the technology and the adoption of technology too. And I know there's a lot of pressure on it. Like we had multiple shows, and remember when people used to bitch about motors all the time. You have to allow motors. You have to allow motors. Now that everybody's allowed motors, I wish we never allowed motors.
I think pedal driven.
Ryan loves a motor. He loves a motor.
I do. It makes fishing a lot more fun, but the competitive aspect of it, because I was the stubborn idiot that would show up at the ramp, 5 minutes before launch and still pedal 12 or 14 miles trying not to puke, because I knew that I was dumb enough to go further than anybody else. And that was an advantage. But now that advantage isn't there, because to be that dumb, all you have to do is put the throttle all the way up. Right. It's not a magic trick.
Yeah. I think as a whole, kayak fishing needs to be more realistic, I think. And you guys said it earlier where you were like, people are dropping out because they're not hitting this life-changing money. They're not just the whole thing. And I don't tournament fish. I handle the content creation side of this, but I think there's also a lot of folks who did that too. They did the tournaments and made these videos, and they're like, I'm going to be the next YouTube star. I'm going to get 1 million brand deals. This is going to be great. But realistically, it's a niche. Paul says it all the time. It's a niche within a niche within a niche within a niche, right? Yeah. It's a very small
and that wave passed too.
Yeah, and that's 100% passed where like it's – but I think a lot of people were like, well, fuck this. I'm not going to spend all this shit. I'm not going to do all this tournaments if I can't even get a YouTube video that's going to get me monetized on YouTube, right? They even cut that shit out. They're like, well, because that would be the other side of it, right? Because even, the big boat, the Elite Series and the MLF guys have shown that they're making a lot more money by making videos than, fishing these tournaments, right? It's the content that's where they're making the money. Well, kayak fishermen are going to get even smaller amount. Obviously, there's some big names, but other than that, like it's tough. And it's even that pie is getting smaller and smaller. So I think for kayak to move forward, kayak bass fishing to move forward, they do need to be realistic about expectations and what the actual payout. As you guys have said multiple times here, the ROI on this. What realistically are you going to get out of this?
I think we should do each angler gets a bow. and 6 to 12 flaming arrows that you can use throughout the day. And spice some shit up, somebody gets too close, somebody cutting in on your hole, burn that bitch down. It's plastic. We're gonna have to do something to even the playing field.
I think to spice it up though, Ryan, and you mentioned it, reality show. So I think we need to pool together the KBN and Bass and Brews crowd, and we pick like 10 anglers of the spiciest, most degenerate anglers, put them all in a house together, and we have them fish every day. We do a bullshit competition in the morning, something in the evening, and whoever has the least amount of inches gets kicked the fuck off.
The Bass and Brews are going to lose at all the fishing
100%.
part of it,
yeah, but we'll fight you.
They're going to be
lose the rest
face
too,
of the botchery.
Yeah. I got bad news, pal. Old Dad's got plenty left in the tank. Don't twist my arm.
Well, no, it doesn't
we're
mean
looking
that you guys. Hold on,
right,
you're not going to be on the fucking show.
I am now. If there's going to be debauchery, I am the guy.
Hold on.
No, we're all there as hosts of the show.
If I'm not mistaken, didn't Ryan retire from tournament fishing a month or two ago? Did I not see a post?
But this
about
isn't
you
tournament
were doing?
fishing.
I try to. I say that every year. I did cut back. My daughter's volleyball schedule is all in the spring. They play in the spring, and no offense to all of you schmucks, but I don't give a shit about kayak fishing when it comes. I'd rather watch girls volleyball all day long because at least they're doing something with their lives,
Yeah.
They've got a future.
They're going somewhere.
What are you talking about? Every angler could be right here, right now. This is the future. Of most
I know.
Could be. I was in there watching, reruns of Law and Order, and instead I'm here talking to you clowns.
Well, that's because you're 74, Jeff. That has nothing to do with you being an angler. That just has to do with you being old.
True. Damn it.
Look, this is completely off topic. But one of my
when have we been on topic? What is the fuck? What's the topic?
I imagine that Jeff's ringtone is literally the dunk from Law and Order.
He has a droid too. By the way. So you need to be aware of what his ringtone is.
We know because every group
green text.
Bitch is green.
Let me tell you something. I haven't had a ringtone.
You whippersnappers.
It's never been not on silent.
I've had the same ringtone. I've had Mambo number 5 as my ringtone for the last 20 years.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, mine's Gigolo. That's my ringtone. I've had that since I was in high school.
Oh man, a man of class.
Yeah. If that thing is not on silent, I'll throw it out the window. So I don't know what's in it.
Hey, Jeff gets scared by it. He thinks it's the aliens.
Oh my God, Jeff, where's my lithium?
Hey, don't fuck around. I'm in Jersey right now. We got alien drones everywhere. Okay, we can't be joking about fucking aliens.
Minesweepers.
Y'all need to get more shotguns because we ain't got none down south, baby. Ain't a damn drone coming by here.
Look, shotgun's the first round. The next round's gonna be a bunch of 22s and 270s, and maybe a 30-06 for all the old people.
Oh my goodness!
But real quick, off topic, and don't fucking interrupt me again, Ryan Lambert. Off topic. One of my funniest ever memories.
I just fucking mute him. That'll really throw him off.
You know what? I'll just remove that shit.
Ooh,
he gone.
Damn.
Hey, look, one of my funniest kayak memories I ever had in my entire life is when Jeff's whole tackle box fell off of his kayak with all the weights and the hooks in it.
My rage? You saw my rage video?
Yeah, that was. Look, all my kayaking videos, I haven't watched a lot lately, but that one right there made me laugh so hard.
Oh my God.
It made me feel so good about myself because you about broke your net after that. You were just so mad. And then you apologized later. And you shouldn't apologize.
Felt terrible.
That's his heart. That's Jeff's servant's heart that apologized.
The dude's also like 6'5", which
Jeff's a monster. So that's a fun fact when people like we went to that Lake of the Ozarks thing and we had like 100 and some odd, and we get this every time we're actually in person together. Like, oh shit, y'all are a lot bigger than we talk shit to you on the internet for. Yeah, kids.
I wouldn't say the stuff I say if I was little.
Yeah, put the keyboards down.
Right, lunch money's a hefty fella, tall, built well. But I've never met Jeff in person, but I've seen him beside people I have met in person. And Jeff is like a college player in basketball. He's a big boy.
That's good for a 71-year-old, man.
Yeah, he hasn't.
He's shrunk. He's shrunk a little bit in the last couple of years, but he's still up there.
He was 6'4". He's now 5'9".
It's getting me. Spondylosis is getting me. I'm shrinking.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Alex is lost because he started off at 5'5" and now he's 5'3".
I am the size of an old Italian grandmother now. Is what's happening. I'm just getting smaller.
I'm gonna show you something that y'all need to strive for. Okay.
Uh-oh.
If this is Sheila Jeet, I've already got it.
Oh my God!
Wow. Does that cover kayaks? Can Wilford Brimley help out with kayaks at all?
When I go to 4:30 dinner, the discounts are amazing. Right.
Okay.
Right. It's amazing y'all can run your podcast with Jeff not fucking shit up because it's technology.
He's the technology guy. He's the one doing all the stuff behind the scenes.
I know that's crazy.
I'm the sponsor guy. He's the technology guy. We have a delicate balance. I bullshit with people and take their money, and then Jeff puts it all together on the screen.
And he also gets all the shit that he gets all the shit from what you say.
No, that's the opposite. That's the opposite. Yeah, I'm definitely the scapegoat there for some reason.
That's right. Even if
it could be for my previous life before I changed, before I turned over a new leaf, became much more politically correct.
Yeah, if I say it on video out of my mouth, it still goes to Ryan somehow. I don't know how.
I like how Ryan stared into the camera to say that part about changing your life. Like you looked directly.
I wanted him to know. Yeah, I mean, I need him to feel that.
Yeah. Look, Ryan, ain't nobody on this podcast listening or feeling to anything you're saying. Just say
I guarantee if I make an offhand comment right now, it will be in the preferred receivers DMs within minutes.
Yeah.
Was that the KBF Facebook page?
I mean, whoever the hall monitor is that loves to rat me out for shit, whoever, I don't know, and they like to, we're going to email your sponsors. And I'm like, they already know, dumbass. I've been doing this shit for a decade. Like, they're very familiar with the person that I am. You can't tell on me for me being myself. Like, it's in the contract.
They know.
Yeah. It's not a secret.
You know, one of the things, the reason KBN is toned down, Paul, it's kind of like, without a villain, what good is a superhero, right? So we've won all our battles. All the giants that were out there robbing people have collapsed under their own weight and their own corruption. Yeah. And here we sit.
Well, you know what?
There's nothing to talk about.
DMs are open. Send them.
Ryan Lambert.
Ryan, I can't believe you said that.
Listen, for 2025, for both of us, guess what? Fuck KBN. We're the villain now. Fuck you guys.
You can have it. I don't give a shit. You own it now. There's not a battle to be had here. Like I said, send us a check.
I'm trying to play Vince McMahon. I'm trying to be, the boss villain in this.
We haven't even had a villain. Conrad Benetti was probably our last big villain.
But he wasn't even a villain, though.
He came in talking that shit.
The heel.
He was. He was, but I mean, we haven't had a heel. There's not a heel. There's not a
heel, no villain.
There's not a bad guy anymore.
Paul, we're gonna make Paul the villain.
Yeah, but Paul,
we need a bad guy. Can we put together, Jeff? Can you put together one of the random drawing wheels, and we'll just pick like the next target?
I mean, what we need is one of these tournament series to start robbing from people again. Then we have something to talk about. Yeah.
Fingers crossed, Bassmaster. It's in your book right now.
Really, if we put together the wheel right now, it would just be Bassmaster the whole way around. Like there's not anything else to talk about.
So
that's what's crazy because literally I got started in the kayak bass fishing in 2021, and there were 3 major trails. In 2022, there were still 3 major trails, national trails. And then you had, 2 or 3 regional trails. And now down to one national trail.
Yep.
It's fucking crazy. It's fucking crazy how, and I said it on this podcast in 2021. It was summer or fall of 2021.
Sometime during the year. Yeah,
right.
For sure.
Sometime during that year of 2021.
It was like
how
fall,
kayak
winter,
bass
spring,
fishing,
or summer.
Kayak bass fishing was in the wild west of this growth.
Infancy.
And we've seen the wild west go down to the settlers.
It's just the Pinkertons.
2
now.
years.
It's just
crazy.
The Pinkertons left.
Yep. Yeah.
It's the Dahmer party. The Dahmer party set off. It was great.
They're eating each other. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats.
Now,
you know?
Yeah. 3 years later, the Dahmer party has eaten half of their people, and we're kind of done.
Hey, shout out to Vinny, by the way. The Native Series, we don't call that a national trail because there's no AOI and no championship, but that's doing great. That Native Series is doing great.
I'll tell you, our episode Monday, we had Gene on to talk about the team fishing thing. I think that's going to be a good series, and I think their separation from things that had been. I think they've done a good job of separating themselves, and they're actually out to run a good, legitimate trail. So I think that'll be one to watch this next year. But as far as the national scene goes, man, I think you're either fishing Bassmaster and you can jump in the big bass events, but that's I don't really see a lot else.
You're either fishing Bassmaster, you're sitting at home complaining about not fishing the Bassmaster.
Yep. Hey, I hate to be the guy, Ryan. I know we haven't been on a show together. There's no plugging of your own podcast on this, so we're just going to have to ban you from the rest of the show.
I'm actually not wearing a plug right now, so we should be good.
Oh. That's why you had to step out earlier.
That's why you had to step out.
Next topic.
Somebody needs my truck.
Anyway, continue.
I just realized I'm the only one with my actual name on the screen. What's up with that? I need a nickname or something on the screen.
Because we never put a real name on here.
I'm going to be doxxed from this episode.
Yeah, people will find your home address if you put your real name on there, which I've only posted mine about 30 times online for all the people looking for me.
See, sometimes, Paul, we talk about how we want to, let's get the show out there. Sometimes it's like, no, I think we're fine where we're at. We don't have to,
KBN, when I first started getting into kayak fishing, KBN was one of the first podcasts that I saw, because when you search kayak bass fishing or kayak fishing podcast, they were one of the first ones that come up, and this was in 2021. So this was like a year or two. I don't know when y'all started, 20 or 2019.
We don't either.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Y'all were one of the first podcasts that come up, and then there's
you guys are still around. You guys haven't sunk to the dark waters.
But we've evolved. Like, if you go back and watch the early episodes, it was five guys drunk on a couch FaceTiming each other. Like, that was
that's why we started this show.
Crazy. And that's where we still are, and that's why we have zero sponsors.
You guys evolved.
Alex and I
have devolved.
Pay all the money to put out this shitty podcast.
100%.
When I found this, there was a handful, and there's still some of these podcasts out there, but they are not. They're not
They're terrible.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's a lot of regurgitated information.
Sorry, Bailey.
But serious thing going. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Hey, shout out to Armando. His is pretty good.
Armando, dude, I just love Armando's accent. I don't give a shit what Armando says, as long as he says it in that accent. I'm in. And
it sounds amazing.
Armando will say the shit that 99% of other people wouldn't say or ask.
Then he'll try. Yeah, right. Ask. He tries to goad me into shit every time I get on there, and I'm like, damn it, Armando. Like, he's like testing me, and I'm not good at that test. I fail it most every time. So I'm like, here's what you want. Here you go.
Armando is good at pulling out the real shit that other people can't pull out, because he asks a question. He don't give no fucks. he pulls out the information and it's exciting. And I love where he took his podcast from where it was a year or two ago. I love where he is now.
It's great
because Armando has I won't say he doesn't have a filter, but he's going to ask the question he wants to ask. And if it's uncomfortable to the person he's asking to it, he's going to ask it again. And like he's going to get the question out. But that's that again, if you think about the bass fishing, the kayak bass fishing world, we don't need don't hide shit. Let's just talk about what's fucking real and what's going on.
Hey, Paul, you know what's something we should start this year before the year ends? We should do like a year in memory, and it's just Sarah McLachlan playing, and we just show every podcast that started and then shut down that year in the fishing realm. And you just play that, and we just do that every year. We just give a little respect. We roll it on the screen.
Yeah.
Of like these are the ones we lost this year, and it's I think that's the move. I want to try to make that happen.
The only one I've ever been
you could do it with trails. You could do it with trails now too.
Oh no, we just do it as a whole. We do it with trails, and then at the end of the video, we just put kayak bass fishing as a whole, also dead, rest in peace.
Yeah,
like we just
or Celine Dion. You could use Celine Dion too. I feel like.
Oh
man,
no. What Celine Dion song is that going to be?
I don't know. I'm just picturing some Titanic shit, just fucking going down to the depths, baby.
You were like 5 years old when Titanic came out. Don't start.
You don't know how many times I watched that. Me and Rose had a thing. I'll go ahead and tell you.
Ryan would be Rose in that meme, just his face as he's shoving every other podcast off the fucking door.
Sorry, Jack. This is my door, ho.
Right? There goes the Dark Waters podcast.
Jeff
there goes the Hobie
really...
POS. Ryan's just fucking sinking them all.
Shut up, Munchkin. Jeff had something to say a couple minutes ago.
I was going to say the only podcast I've been sad to see go was Dark Waters.
Dude, that was probably one of the funniest episodes we've ever done is when we had him on as a guest.
Dude,
my dad was texting me. He's like, "Who is this guy?" And I was like, "He's an animal. He's a freaking animal."
It was a year of absolute bliss for kayak fishing because he put out 3 or 4 episodes a week.
A fucking week. The man was an animal.
It's crazy.
And he had again. This was also during the heydays of bass fishing. It was that 2022 era, give or take some months in between and outside. But he had people on. And
dude, he was so convincing too. I almost bought that fucking golf club set of fucking fishing rods that he would shill every fucking opening where he's like, "Oh, you get a set of 6 rods that are the most essential, bro. It's going to be the best." I actually love that show. My only regret is that when we had him on this show, I had a beer shotgun malfunction, and it took me longer to shotgun a beer than it takes to just sip one with your pinky out.
This
and then I ended up
shotgunned a beer, and Josh and I were done within 5 seconds, and Alex.
And then I blew back that bitch on myself. I'm covered in beer.
Spilling beer all over his shit, and then it blew out the can. It was terrible.
I feel like we got shorted on this episode, Jeff.
Huh?
Never mind. Pawpaw's clocked out. What time is it?
He's like, I'm sleepy.
It's 8:01.
People's like the fire's going out.
What are you reading right now? Newsweek? What's in front of your glasses?
He's reading USA Today.
Paper just came out, boys. Y'all chill.
I have a Kindle. Leave me alone.
Kindle. Do you have the Kindle on large letters?
Yes. Oh yeah.
I wear my 2.5s for reading, but these are just regulars.
If you've ever gotten close to him or Steve-O's phone, it's like one word per line on their tag. Like them boys they're in it deep.
Yeah, man.
I love it.
Look, I'm not far behind. My phone has large text, not extra large, but my phone does have large. Jeff, I meant to text you before we started to say that you and I had to have a puppy off because I remember when you got y'all's puppy and you're like, I never thought I'd be buying clothes for a dog.
All right, fuck it, Ryan. We're gonna go start our own podcast.
I don't know what a puppy off is, but that sounds disgusting.
They're gonna have
East Coast slang. What is that?
Yeah, get the peanut butter.
It's fucking puppies and PBR. It's just these two fucking playing with their dog clothes.
Oh my gosh, Paul! I told you that I hadn't been drinking, and I started back tonight just for you because I knew I was going to need it for this episode, and so far that's exactly right.
Dude, Ryan, you don't understand when we have a guest and they randomly have like a cat, and then Paul has to go on 20 minutes talking about fucking cats and how it's fucking.
I've never wanted to see anything less in my life than Paul fucking a cat.
Whoa. You got to put some punctuation in between the fucking.
Nope. I'm just going by what the man said. Like, he's running the show here.
You guys ever seen that episode of South Park where they're like sniffing cat piss? That's Paul, where he's just face directly in there getting sprayed by male cats.
Wow.
Just so happened right next to me was this dog reindeer costume.
Is that for your actual dog?
It's for my dog right there.
Okay. You're okay with that?
Okay.
See, this turned into an old. They're just going to show their dog clothing. This is it.
Slander my dog. I will drive out there and murder both of you. So don't slander my dog.
There you go.
Well, I didn't make not making fun of the dog, making fun of the owner solely. I'm making fun of you, not the dog.
Fine. I can tell you.
My puppy dog has a reindeer vest, and he loves it.
No, he doesn't.
He will if we hide it from him.
How do I get out of this?
That's what I was looking for.
Jeff, I get it. I never had small dogs. When oh my God,
they left. It's all right. No, to be honest, Paul. I don't like the dog clothes whatsoever. It's a wife thing, but I tolerate it. That's the truth. This is straight up.
I don't vape, but I'm gonna hit this USB drive and just see if it makes me feel better. Nope.
Nope. Is that a gummy? Is that a gummy vape, or is that?
It's a USB drive. I don't know. It's a SanDisk 258 or so. I don't know what it is. I don't know what they're packing these days, but it's not
dog
enough.
clothes combo's over, Ryan. Don't worry, it's over.
Okay, thank you.
This podcast was supposed to be about the state of kayak bass fishing.
This is the state of kayak bass fishing. This is it. We're smoking USBs, trying to get out of this shit. That's where we're at.
Hey, Jeff, what's your hat say?
Hashtag FBD, Fish Boat Docks. That's what I think that stands for.
I thought it said Fish Big Dicks.
Yep, fucking big dicks.
Whoa!
Do you not know the story behind this hashtag?
No.
Y'all are not in tune with actual fishing, are you? It's just kayaks over here.
This was legendary right here.
I'm colorblind. Yes, I remember it from last year, but I am colorblind, so that's why I asked you about it, because I can't see it.
Yeah.
You can't read.
What? I'm colorblind. I can't read, says the North Carolina guy.
That's what happened.
This makes a lot more sense.
Are you bulimic? Read minds?
Yeah.
He's not bulimic.
I'm bulimic. I've lost every game of hopscotch I've ever played.
God damn. Don't put this podcast off the rails. I thought it was going to be Alex and I that fucked this shit up.
We fit in here.
The KBN guys came in tonight.
We fit in here.
Yeah. The KBN's guys came in tonight, being exceptionally exceptional. It's wonderful.
Yep.
I love it.
We don't get to take our white gloves off often, but tonight was that night.
Hey, if there's going to be a podcast where you cannot get canceled on, it's going to be Bass and Brews, because nobody important is listening.
That's not true.
That's the
my mom
secret,
listens.
No one important. That's the secret, man. No one important is ever listening.
That's not true. Hunter Biden tunes in every week.
Hey, so. All right, boys, it's been great having you on. Make sure, if you want to help support the show, head on over to patreon.com.
God damn.
Bass and Brews.
My lunch money into
I
the podcast.
killed it.